Welcome. We are live. I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about. What you see at the bottom, Passport to Africa Fest. We are here to just tell you more about this amazing event, how it came to be, what you should look forward to, and why you need to buy a ticket. So tonight, I have my really, really great friend Christine here. We're going to talk about her baby and how she was able to come up with this idea that is going to be going to be amazing. So as you're coming in, share, share, share. As we are speaking, we're going to talk about how you can purchase your ticket. And also, we have a little surprise as well to go along with that information. So, thank you for those who are joining now. And let's go ahead and jump in. You want to just introduce yourself a little bit, Christine, so people can know who you are and all of that wonderful stuff?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Jarima. I have been counting down all day to speak to you and to speak to this Burst into Books amazing, amazing family. My name is Christine Mapondera-Talley, and I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founder of Global Kids House, which is a book publishing company that focuses on stories that elevate and celebrate the diversity of Africa and the African diaspora. And this is something that came about because I'm just truly, truly passionate about my people. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, and I know a lot of people can relate to seeing stories about your community that don't truly reflect the entire story, right? And so Global Kids House was birthed out of that desire and that void that I wanted to fill for myself and for my children and for their friends across the globe, in their neighborhood, in their schools, and everywhere. And so this is what I do every day, try to bring about joy, bring about stories with humor, stories with dramas, inspirational stories that really show that balance that exists in our lives, the love that exists in our lives, the multidimensional aspect of who we are as a people. And I know this firsthand, being born and raised in Zimbabwe and having experienced that multitude of stories. So in a nutshell, this is who I am.
I love it. And what I want to also add is what I love most is that this is truly a passion of yours. I've seen this even from when we first met and just talking about your writings and just where it came from. I think it's just so important. And that's where we'll see when we talk more about this event of just really it being fueled by a deep love and appreciation for culture and for just bringing people in for the beauty of all sides of it, right? Even that's what I loved about your children's book. Like when you were reading it, it took you there, and I think so many times, and even us in our conversation before today about, which we'll get to next, like Africa Day, like I was like, what does that mean? Like why is that important? Why does it matter? Because unfortunately, we already are neglected about our history. And I think that, to be quite honest, as an African American, I'm even more oblivious to African history. And so I just think it's important that we bridge those gaps. And so can you even speak a little to what is Africa Day?
Sure. And I'm going to just give them the shortest version, right, of what Africa Day is and how it came about. So a long time ago in the 60s, I want to say 1963, a number of leaders from African countries came together in Ethiopia, and the idea was stemmed from just the effects and the pain of colonization, the way that African countries have been more or less chopped apart and did not have the level of power that they needed to compete. So they understood that they needed to come together and become a unified force and become one Africa. While it's a continent, but as countries coming together, they could leverage their intelligence, their wisdom, their resources, and all these different things. And so they came together in Ethiopia. Unfortunately, there was no agreement on the path forward, right? There were two ideologies. While everyone agreed that we need to be a unified force. The method of getting there was different, but with that came this honoring of our us as a people, of our struggle, of our joy and our successes. And Africa Day was born from that. And Africa Day is celebrated every year on May 25th. And people do different things. But what I have seen is that there's not a lot that really caters to the younger group, the younger kids, because it's like you get to be about 30 and you're like, oh, Africa Day. Well, what is that all about? Hey, we have a day.
Exactly. Like, dude, where did that come from?
Did we skip something somewhere? And so this is where Passport Africa Fest kind of comes in. And I'm just like, you guys, I'm so excited about this event. You would think I'm the child that's going to be attending the event, but no, I am not. This is how hype I am about Passport Africa Fest. And the people that are part of this event are just as excited. They from multiple different countries, but I'll get more into it. But yeah, so that kind of, hopefully that gives you a better sense of what Africa Day is. And it's always on May 25th every year. And so, yeah, so this is why we're doing this event.
I love it. And just even as you just shared, that goes to my next question. I'm like, how did you create this amazing event? And so even you just hinted to, like, we have people all around the continent that's going to be part of it. I mean, you even share some of the different performers and things like that. Can you just kind of share, I think, and me and you both know that coming from something from idea to actually execution, it's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot of organizing. So when did you know, like, hey, I'm doing this, and how long have you been planning this event?
Well, so I knew that I was going to do something last year, actually, but the how wasn't entirely clear. I knew I wanted to do something for kids. And at first, I thought I was going to do kind of like a YouTube series similar to Bookmarks on Netflix, and do like a week-long series of different African authors reading stories that are stemmed from different countries. But then that idea just kind of, when it didn't go away, but the logistics, were going to be tricky because things have to be recorded and people are in different countries, and the consistency can not be there because you can't really control. Yeah, it just got a little bit beyond my abilities. So I had to acknowledge that I have limitations there. So I walked away from that. But because I was also working on Passport Africa magazine, I had been working on Passport Africa magazine for many, many months. I mean, the idea started 9 months ago. I mean, maybe 10 months ago now. And I was like, hey, I already have this thing that's, the magazine is essentially a different version of the fest, right? The magazine is allowing you to engage with African countries and people from present day going backwards. Everything from food to music to just life. So it just made sense to just kind of like extend that experience to something else.
Yeah.
So then I just tapped into the people that I already know. And these are people that I've made friends virtually. I've made so many friends virtually and I love them. If I have a question, I don't hesitate to text them wherever they are in the corner of the world, right? So I knew that I wanted something that was kind of like a concert experience, but not entirely a concert experience, and also somewhat faster paced. Some of our kids, they can't sit there and listen to the same person for 30 minutes. That's just too much. And most adults honestly cannot do that either.
Yep.
So I created this thing whereby there is a change in activity within 10 minutes. Like the most is 10 minutes. So the first act, the Zimbabwean Gwanyambira, which means a master of the mbira instrument. And she's going to play this music, which is, this instrument is just like, I can only describe it as a thumb piano, but that's not even giving, it's not even giving it justice, right? Because it's like, it's more, it's a deeper, more complex and spiritual kind of instrument as well. And so she's our opening act. And then I have this awesome artist, young artist based in Nigeria, that's gonna show the kids how to draw something fun and simple and colorful, right? Because kids love to use their hands. And then I have this girl, young girl, I should say young girl, you know, well, we're all young, whatever. We're all young, right?
She's just a little younger than us.
Yeah. So my friend Lane in London, she is a phenomenal storyteller. When I say you haven't enjoyed a folktale until you listen to Lane, like truly, you have not. And you want to listen to her all day. And she's based in London. And I also have my friend who's all about language, and she has a language book, and so she would do a demonstration of language as well, just something short and sweet. But then I also have a husband and wife that are going to do an Ethiopian dance called a skista dance. It's a very like vibrant, fast moving, upbeat kind of music and kind of dance. And so they will show the kids step by step how to do it, and then also actually break into the dance, because, you know, that's why we're here. It's a concert. Yeah. And then last but not least, I have another person that wrote a story about Queen Idia, who was a queen of the Benin Kingdom, which is now present day Nigeria. But she is going to kind of tell the story behind the story, how she recreated this character and how it came to be. So yeah, that's in a nutshell the event. I'm sure I missed a thing or two, but all these people are also throwing at you some freebies. Like everybody will get stuff, because why not? We're celebrating our amazingness and awesomeness, and reminding each other that that we are worthy, right? And that our uniqueness should be celebrated. So part of that is that, you know, the people are going to receive Passport Africa magazine, which is a special issue that I created to celebrate Africa Day or commemorate Africa Day. But other people have coloring books, comic books, and so many things that will come along with the registration to this event.
So we have a few more questions, but I have people watching, and I want to make sure, I'm sure the question is, how do people buy a ticket? Because the whole purpose of this evening is to, yes, talk about the event, talk about how it came to be, but to get people to buy tickets. Because as you just heard, this is going to be an amazing time. I posted it earlier. I already know a few of my families have already purchased. And I know people who are watching now are probably at the edge of their seats. Like, what? You know, a concert, a global concert. Like, how do we get our tickets? So can you just share? And I'm going to actually have it scroll at the bottom of the screen for the rest of our time together. But just kind of share, how will people buy their ticket?
Absolutely. So you can go to Passport Africa Fest. I'm sorry. Let me start that over. You can go to passportafrica.net. Very simple. passportafrica.net. That page will show you everything. What's going to happen at the event, who are the presenters, how to buy. And it's a very simple checkout process. Literally, you click register here, you enter some details, sign up, and you are done. You don't have 5 pages to fill stuff out. No. And the fee is per household, not per person. It's per household, and that allows you to have all the stuff delivered to you by the 20th. You will have all the stuff, and on the 23rd it will be having a party.
Love it, love it, love it. And so I know that we talked about how did we become connected in this, because my whole premise for Burst into Books is that we're not only just teaching about everything that comes with the amazingness that come with literature, but cultural literacy. Like, I'm really big about the content, the stories that we present to our families. And why does this matter is going to be the next question I ask. But what I'm really excited about is that Christine has put together a little promo code for our Burst into Books families and those who are watching. So I'm going to have, for the remainder of our time, you see the website where you can go and get a ticket. But also, if you put in the promo code BIB20, you will be able to get a small discount off of that ticket. But I think just out of everything we've heard, this is an amazing, amazing cost. Like, I'm excited. Me and Trey will be there. I'm pushing it with my families because, again, I think it's so important that when we have events and opportunities to just be enriched, we have to take advantage of it, right? I mean, right. I'm able to travel to all these different countries that I plan on going to one day, but we can do it from our household. And so at the bottom, you see where you can buy your ticket and also the promo code that goes with it. My next question is just simply, why does this event matter? I'm going to share it, and I would love for you to share. I know you shared some throughout this, but why do I think it matters? I think it matters even more during these times that we're in, because I believe that, especially when we're talking about young children, they're so impressionable, right? Who they are. I mean, we had a conversation just about, talking about our children. Even with Trey, I'm just realizing he is really shaping who he will be as a man, and how he identifies with the world and how he believes the world looks at him. And I think a lot of times when we don't allow our children to learn about the richness of who they are, their heritage, where they come from, and this is just even within our families. We don't even know a lot of times about our own families. Like, oh, I didn't know I had an uncle that did that. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
I had a cousin that traveled the world. Like, knowing that information in itself is mind blowing, because it's like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Or, that's the type of person I want to aspire to be. And I think it's so much more inspiring when we learn about our heritage, because then we understand what's in our bloodline, and we understand a lot of times the similarities and the differences that make us unique and beautiful. And I just truly enjoy, I'm a lover of cultures. I love, indulging in the food, the rituals, the family traditions, the music. And so I just think having our kids, the younger they are, the more as they get older, they're accepting, and they are also excited about learning new things. I know that when we don't let our kids do that, they can be a little bit more resistant, but you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So
seriously, that is one of my favorite lines. You don't know what you don't know. And, this event is stemming from the belief that I have when it comes to the books I want to publish, right? And when it comes to the magazine that I am publishing, is that I want to expose young people to this history and this heritage and this current history and this ancient history, because it gives this perspective of the depth of who we are and the diversity of who we are. Like, I'm amazed every time I come to certain stories. I'm just like, wow, I'm just blown away that I'm part of this heritage. And it's imperative that people understand that very early. But it's also imperative that people that are not African, that are not Black, are also allowed to enter the space where they see a different story, but they see a more complete story, right? Because that enables them to have a different level of appreciation and the level of also respect and of value. The perception of value is really important for both us and everyone else that's looking at us. And this really plays into it. And so so this event matters because of these many reasons, the reasons that you just stated and what I'm saying. And I'm sure whoever is watching right now, you also have your own thoughts about why you think this matters. And I truly want this to be of value to anyone that partakes in this. Like I want this to be to meet and exceed expectations. You know, that is our goal. Like we know we're living no prisoners. So yeah, we mean it.
Yes, yes. And I think what you just said speaks to, so we had a question posed. And again, this is a very much so like open dialogue. So if there are questions or comments that you want to make, please do that. I appreciated those saying hi, good evening. So hello, we see you. Thank you for coming. But this question I think is perfectly aligned with what you just said. Do you think that any kid would enjoy the event, even if they do not have roots in Africa?
Right. No, absolutely. Because you know what? My own daughter, she's often exposed to experiences and holidays and traditions from so many countries, right? Whether it's commemorating the Lunar New Year or even things like St. Patrick's Day. You know, these are things that are not native to Zimbabwe, where I'm from, or to any African country. But there is a connection that's established there when she's learning about these traditions and the history and the people and just things that that bring that experience. And I mean, she had real tears on St. Patrick's Day because the leprechaun did not bring any gold coins. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I have failed as a mother. I have failed as this child. There were real tears. And so these connections I'm not set aside for just a certain group while they are rooted in recognizing people from that particular culture. It doesn't block anyone else from entering the space and having that connection. So yeah, absolutely. You are all welcome. So thank you, Lauren, for posing that question, because I'm sure somebody who's watching now or later may be thinking it and thinking, well, I don't know, but no.
Yeah. And what I love is that what you're doing and what you have been doing, this is not new. So this is, I believe, just a manifestation that will continue to grow and grow and grow until I can't wait till we can be in person. I can see this being like an actual, like in the park type festival. And I mean, I think it would be beautiful to host this because I think it's so important that our kids, as you stated, there's not a lot of spaces in which like young people can engage with cultural events that are geared towards them. And like you said, you already considered the time length of the performances and everything. I think it's an additional element to actually see it in person. But this
and imagine if we had food. Like if I could virtually send you everybody some food.
You already know how I feel about some African food.
Yeah.
I gotta pause for a second. I had Ethiopian food for the first time 2 weeks ago.
I saw that post. I was jealous.
And the palates have never been the same. It's just, it was amazing. I've had Senegalese, I've had Nigerian, never Ethiopian. And it just made me, and I think those are the type of experiences. I think even music and literature, it makes you thirsty for more. It made me realize, I wonder how food tastes in South Africa or Ghana or Sudan. It just makes you want to just travel to these different places because what you realize, just like in all cultures, it's diversity within the culture.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even, Nigerian jollof rice is different from Senegalese. Like all the different parts that you go, it's not like a one shoe fits all. And so once you realize that, you then realize, like you said, your mind is enlightened when you have conversations about.
And don't start the jollof rice conversation among West Africans because that's asking for hashtag jollof wars.
Really? Oh my
because
gosh.
the Ghanaians think that their jollof rice is better than the Nigerians and the Gambians, and I mean, but the originators of jollof rice are the Senegalese. So that is undisputed. But as far as who makes the best version of jollof rice, that's a whole entire battle.
And guess what? I'm here for it. I want to be the taste tester. I want
Right?
to,
Right?
because I have had Singlies, and it's definitely very different than when I've tasted it from different. But even that, I think that just gives another element. And kids, we may not know it. So I think even to this question, Lauren, I think that an experience in one space opens you up for experiences in different spaces, because it makes you feel like, I didn't know this about this. I wonder if there's some variations over here too. You know what I mean? So you just start realizing that there really is no one shoe fits all for anybody.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. So, but, I just want to point out that the discount code that's scrolling at the bottom, it is live right now. It is active. So if you went to passportafrica.net, it's already working. Another taste taster here for next
Lauren,
year's in-person first. Yes.
DM me. I'm serious, Lauren. We are going to get, because my next thing is how do we stay connected, because as Christine knows, I love her, and when it does come into person in an in-person event, I'm going to be there. And
you guys are planting ideas. Like, I guess I should start planning out next year's event. You
already know how my mind works. I'm like, we're going to be at the park. It's going to be awesome. Like, I already feel it. So, Lauren, I'm serious. I can't wait.
And it's a perfect time of the year. It's May.
It's the perfect time of the year.
The weather is friendly. I mean, May is a great month for me anyway. My birthday's coming up. We just had Mother's Day, wedding anniversary. So and Africa Day is in here. So let's just pack it all in here.
When is your birthday again?
May 29th.
I'm May 28th. I think we talked about this before.
This is why we have this connection.
I'm telling you, we should just have birthday parties with African Fest. It's going to be awesome. Yes, seriously. So my next question is, how can people stay connected? And the reason I'm saying this is because Africa Fest, Passport Africa, is going to be amazing. But this is a year-long thing. Like, she is always doing programming on Instagram and just on her page and just promoting. So this is definitely a celebration, but it's a celebration that is annual, like every day, daily, weekly. So how can people stay connected beyond coming to the event? Definitely coming to the event, but what are some other ways you would want people to know how to stay connected to you?
Sure. So all of this is being done under my company, Global Kids House, and that's kids with a Z. So Global Kids House is where I publish everything, the books and the magazine. And I'm also doing a Saturday series where we are doing arts and crafts, exploring different African countries. So we may be doing a Play-Doh activity, it could be a watercolor activity, it could be some kind of paper craft activity, but we're just zeroing in on a location, on an animal, on nature, on just something that connects to the African continent. This past Saturday, we recreated the flame lily, which is native to Zimbabwe, and it is actually the national flower. And so that was like our Mother's Day activity. So we just created a simple Mother's Day card using, I'm spacing out on the paper that we all use for crafts. What is that paper called? It's not, anyway, it's all that colorful kid paper that
we know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Too. Paper.
Yeah, but stuff like that. We did a penguin, the African penguin activity using Play-Doh, and African penguins native to Cape Town, South Africa. That's where they roam around on the beach. Those activities really kind of help cement the geography aspect of it, right? Because we may talk about this flower or this penguin or this waterfall, whatever it is. But before we do it, we're talking about the location. So if this thing that we're doing is in Ghana. Where on the globe is Ghana? Right. So we want to find that, so I'm trying to bring this into the, the most simplistic level of activity. But then, even throwing in some coordinates, like it's like north, east, west, south. Like if we can get that in there, great. But, if we can't, it's okay. Let's just at least learn to recognize the letters and identify where it is. Right. And then just do this activity together. And we usually spend about 20 minutes ish. They're short activities, but that's all at globalkidshouse.com, social media. That's where I am. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
And Lauren's like me. Lauren, we're gonna become BFFs. I'm serious. DM me so we can stay connected. We were trying to figure out your paper. I started Googling. It's tissue paper. She put construction paper, tissue paper.
No, it's construction paper. That's it.
It was construction.
Yeah.
I thought you meant tissue, like when we put in the gifts. Okay.
See, my descriptions are terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, so you were right. So construction paper. Well, that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm super excited. As you all see, at the bottom is where you need to go get your tickets. Please go and do that. Support. One thing that I am always big about is that when we see things that are going to benefit not only just our children, but us as well, we have to support it. This is a lot of work, a lot of planning. I'm not even involved, but I know it is. And in order for it to be sustainable and continue to go year to year, we want this outdoor, but we got to first support what's happening in front of us right now. Right. So let's support, make sure that we can all get a ticket for our families. Use the promo code BIB20 to get your discount. It is live now. Again, Passport to Africa Fest, Global Kids House, to continue to follow Christine and all of her amazing work. And again, you all, thank you for tuning. Please share this as well. Share this with your community. Make it like a family event. Your kids have cousins and friends. They can all join and go to the concert together.
Literally calling all aunties and uncles and mothers and grandparents and guardians. Like, let's do this. And if you want to gift this to someone that you feel can benefit, please message me and I will help you make that happen. But yeah, we want this to be the most epic kid event this year, completely. Yeah.
Yes. And it'll be perfect. And I mean, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for us to do a recap because I know it's going to be awesome and just about what people are feeling and thought after the event. So again, at the bottom, visit. If you have any questions, if you're watching this later, feel free to either message me. If you can't get in contact with Christine, I'll make sure you all connect and she will do the same. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Christine, for your time.
Thank you. You are the best. You're the best. You do so much to grow this community and to pour into this community. I mean, I remember when you were beginning and we were just talking about the book club, and then it has morphed into this hub. It's a hub of resources, of everything, of literature, of education, of support, of tutoring, of community, of wellness. Like, it's just phenomenal. So kudos to you. I'm just happy to just be on the sidelines and be like, oh my gosh, I know this person. She's the bomb. She's the real deal. So thank you for doing this for all of us.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual because I mean, even when we first met, you didn't have Global Kids.
No. The Global Kids House was not a formal thing, but it was an idea. It was definitely an idea.
And I think the cool thing about that is that you can see how something goes within less than 2 years. Like, you go from not just having an idea to we're about to have an online concert. This is amazing. So who's to say what's going to happen in the next couple of years? Next year,
the sky's the limit. We'll receive all of that. Right.
We receive it all. So again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you those who will watch this later. And we look forward to seeing you at the concert.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Take care.